She is our go-to pucks person here on the Rich Eisen Show, as she has been all season. And now, Linda, that the Stanley Cup's playoffs are underway, this is what it's all about, Linda. This is what it's all about.
Rich, it's good to be on again. And by the way, it is what it's about. It's the second season. It's obviously, for most people, a lot of times people start watching hockey at this point.
Yeah.
For good reason, because it's a different game. Already a fast sport, goes even faster. So it's an exciting time. We're 2 games in, 2 days in, and we've had overtimes, we've had unsung heroes, we've had upsets. It's all good, Rich.
And controversy. Don't forget the controversy, Linda.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a moment. Right now, who's ripe for an upset in the first round of these playoffs, do you think?
It's all linked. It's really all linked because I picked, before the series began, I picked the Ottawa Senators to upset the Montreal Canadiens, even though the Canadiens have Carey Price, who's a league MVP candidate as well as a Vezina Trophy candidate to win that. He'll win that hands down. I picked Ottawa because they were the hottest team going into the postseason. Doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. The hottest team going into postseason usually gets off to a good start. Problem is, let's get to the controversy. PK Subban, the talented, skilled defenseman of the Montreal Canadiens, decided to use his stick as a hatchet and slash Mark Stone of Ottawa, who's the Senators' second leading scorer. And he slashed him for no reason on his wrist, on his hands. Ended up, Stone did, with a fractured wrist. He's out indefinitely. Now, any chance of an upset by the Senators is really going to be tough to beat Montreal. And, and here's the big controversy. The NHL's director of player discipline is a former Montreal Canadien. His name is Stefan Quintal, and he has chosen not to suspend PK Subban.
Why do you think that is, Linda?
I don't know, but I don't like it. It smells bad. The league can say what it wants, but it's just not. It's not a fair fight. Because what's the problem? What the precedent this sets, Rich, is a bad one, and this happened in day one of the postseason. The precedent is it's like, well, you can take out stars doing illegal action and just get a 2-minute penalty and being thrown out of that particular game, but which was PK Subban did for that hatchet job. He was thrown out of that game 1, but he is now allowed to play in game 2 and the rest of the series. There has to be accountability, Rich. When a player is injured because of an illegal act and he is now out indefinitely, may not play another playoff game, the player that committed that act should face accountability and will not.
It's almost like an annual thing. I know it's not an annual thing, but it happens almost every other or every few other hockey playoffs where something like this happens, Linda, and then there's a debate that the person who was the aggressor should be suspended for as long as the victim is out because of the injury that the aggressor inflicted. Would you agree with that or no?
I would. No, absolutely, Rich. You're right on point. I mean, it seems to happen every year, every other year. We have controversy regarding it. And here's what the difference is. In the old days, Rich, when we were growing up, when we were watching hockey, the policing would take place on the ice. There would be players who are labeled, I guess, goons or enforcers who would be able to, take matters into their own hands. But that's changed now. There is really no such player on the ice anymore in today's NHL. There's scrappy players, but the league has basically gotten rid of enforcers. So all the legislation and discipline is up to the league.
But Dave,
so now it's Ottawa in game 2, right? If they lose focus of trying to even this series and just go after PK Subban, what do? They're going to be all in the penalty box.
Well, Dave Cameron, the coach of the Senators, essentially said, if there's no suspension, then just give us 5 after we slash one of their guys. I mean, he flat out said that after the game on Thursday night, Linda.
And I would have done the same thing as a head coach because you have to take as a team. First of all, that sends a great message to his players that their head coach has the players back, that we're not going to take this garbage. We're going to, eye for an eye. Sort of thing. But that is the league's fault. That is the league's fault, Rich. Because if they would be able to suspend PK Subban, you wouldn't see this. And who knows what we're going to get tonight now in Game 2. It's what the league doesn't want, but it's because of the league's non-action that they're going to get it.
So you're essentially saying there's no Nick Fotiu in hockey anymore. Linda, is that what you're saying right there? I went old school Rangers enforcer on you there, Linda.
Yes, that was Staten Island native.
That's right.
Nick Fotiu.
He's from the Rock, Nick Fotiu, just like me. I'm the enforcer of this program, too. I don't know if you're aware of that, Linda.
Well, someone's got to be.
I'm a grinder,
it's
too.
Your show.
I'm the grinder and enforcer, all in one. What can I tell you?
You are. You're a good character guy. You're good. Every team needs a good character guy, and you are a character.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. So the Blackhawks, they fall into a 3-0 hole on game one. They pull Corey Crawford. They put the kid in there, and they win in double overtime. And now the Blackhawks against the Predators tonight are going to go back to Crawford. Do you think that's the right move between the pipes for Chicago, Linda? Did I lose you, Linda? Is she gone, Law?
It's showing she's still on, but we must have lost her. I'll try and get her back on real quick.
In the meantime, I'm the enforcer and grinder of the program, and this happens. I think the radio gods are having fun at my expense. Let's take a break here. Let's take a break and get Linda back on the phone. We're going to take a break here on the Rich Eisen Show, and when we come back, we'll get Linda Cohn back on. Just like another, she's from Long Island. Earlier this week, another guy from the island, in a way, from Queens, happened to Kevin James, too. What is with the cell phones and people from Queens? We'll be back with more with Linda Cohn in a moment. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. Our phone lines are lit. 844-204-RICH is the phone number to dial. We'll get to some of these phone calls in a moment, but we have Linda Cohn back on the program. Are you there, Elsie?
I am here. I don't know what happened there, but we know how that works. But what were we talking about? It's fitting that I'm in Chicago when I was cut off when I was talking about the Chicago Blackhawks.
But you're because the Blackhawks are in Nashville. You're not there.
That's correct. I think that's the problem. I should be in Nashville. It's a beautiful city. I know you've been there.
Yes, I have. That's where, I've been there with the Tennessee Titans playing. And who knows?
Of course
Marcus Mariota might be there.
Pick.
He might be there in a couple of weeks, Marcus Mariota.
That's right.
So you believe what I was
Here's
actually.
What I believe. Yes, here's the question.
I was showing off, first of all, I was showing off my brilliant acumen on the Chicago Blackhawks goalie situation. And then I threw it over to you. That's what I was doing.
You continue to amaze
your
fans with your knowledge.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
So listen, here's the deal. It's kind of a funny story. Yeah, the rookie that came in, Scott Darling for Corey Crawford, saving the day in game one, winning the game in double overtime, making sure it got to double overtime. Blackhawks seal the game in Nashville, right? So game two, Coach Quenneville, going back to Corey Crawford, who looked awful in game one. I agree with it. Here's why. You got to look big picture. Corey Crawford's been there, done that. You can always go to Scott Darling, the backup. You really can. Darling in game one proved he can shine on a big stage when it matters most. So you got that in your back pocket as a head coach. You know that. You got to go back to Corey Crawford, build up his confidence, get him playing like Corey Crawford, a Stanley Cup winning goalie can. And that's why he's gone back to him in game two.
Linda Cohn joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Are you in an airport right now, Linda?
How can you tell? Is it that megaphone sound in the background?
Can they please turn that down?
O'Hare Airport.
Oh, my Lord. The thing I love about O'Hare Airport is it's so cozy, Linda. It's so small and cozy. And your plane takes off right away.
Right?
Yeah, your plane.
Easy to navigate.
Oh, yeah, your plane takes off right away. As soon as you get on it, it goes boom. You're first for
Exactly.
takeoff every time.
Every time. You don't even have enough time to enjoy the airport. Am I right, Rich?
Soak it in, Elko. So how far can your Rangers go? In all seriousness, how far they go?
And I'm being serious. They can only beat themselves, okay, Rich? And if they don't go to the finals, the season is a disappointment. They won the President's Trophy. They're good enough to win the Cup. If they don't get to the finals, it's a disappointment for the organization, for the players, and their fans. Can they get to the finals? Absolutely. I think they're better than last year.
And Lundqvist is back nice and healthy, and he's back there. But is he the best player in hockey, Lundqvist, Linda?
You know what? He's not the best player in hockey. Some say he's the best goalie in hockey. Mm-hmm. He's obviously in the top two best goalies in hockey. Most consistent. I can't throw out. I know how you love stats.
I do.
But I can't throw out, especially hockey stats about goalies. But the point is he's been the most consistent, and he's broken a million New York Ranger records. They're not winning a cup without Henrik Lundqvist. Henrik Lundqvist has to be at his best this postseason run for the Rangers to win the cup. But here's the difference, Rich. a year ago, when everything fell into place and they surprised a lot of people going to the finals, it was Henrik Lundqvist who carried them there. This year, they don't need Henrik to be the one and only guy to get them there, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
The whole team, they're that good to win the...
Linda, I want to ask you the poll question on RichEisenshow.com before I let you go. It involves the best character in baseball movie history. Go, Brockman, read them out. Read out the choices for Linda Cohn, please.
All right, Linda, here's what we got. Crash Davis, Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn, Ray Kinsella, Roy Hobbs, Morris Buttermaker.
What do you got, Linda?
Wow, that's sensational. First, I was going to go right to Crash Davis because I was in love with Kevin Costner.
Sure.
And I love that character because it's amazing. But Roy Hobbs, to me, unreal. Just that's my favorite baseball movie ever, The Natural, and Robert Redford, that whole story. So Roy Hobbs for me.
Atta girl. Linda, we'll chat with you next week. If not, we'll chat some more pucks. Okay, you take care.
It was fun as always, Rich. Thanks.
Travel safe. That's Linda Cohn here on the Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.